welcome back to my channel, and I'm here with another manga reread recommendation kind of thing. So next one up is Shugo Chara by Peach Pit. This is a best friend duo, and these two women have done a couple other series, Rose and Maiden and Deers, neither of which I have read. But I have read Shugo Chara many times, and I watched the anime many times, and it's got like over 100 episodes. And this series is very nostalgic to me. I watched it for the first time when I was 13, and then I read it afterward, watched some more again, and finally completed picking up the entire series recently. I had picked up, I think, Volume 5 and Volume 12 years ago, and had been reading those ones over and over again, and then ended up finding a good chunk of the series used for $1 each in pretty much new condition. So I picked all those up, and then only needed 2 more volumes, and then finally bought those last 2 volumes that I needed recently. So I was able to reread the entire series again, and still just as great. This is about a girl named Amu on all of the covers, as you can tell. She starts off, I think, 10 years old. She's in 5th grade. By the end of the series, I think she is about to start middle school, so she's now 11, possibly turning 12. Yeah, so quite young. The characters in this are very young, and I kind of forgot how young they were, because they don't really act. Some of them do, but some of them do not really act their age or look their age, so I completely forgot how young these characters are. This is a story about friendship, about finding yourself, about following your dreams. It is very fluffy, it is very cute, it is very, you know, that. It is very like, follow your dreams and your heart and things will be great. Like, it is kind of, there's some drama in it, there's a lot of comedy, there's romance. This is quite a fluffy series, but even though I guess it's directed at females, I honestly think, as a guy and my older brother, like, we both love this series. I don't think he's read the manga, but we both ate the anime up. Like, we marathoned it and really loved it, and it's still one of the things that we talk about today, even though that was so many years ago that we watched that together. It's still one that the characters stick with you. So, this is originally it was a Del Rey release, and then Kodansha took over and released the rest of it, so I have a couple. Most of mine are Del Rey up until, I think, Volume 7 is a Kodansha one, because I had to buy that recently, and then I have 8 and 9 are still Del Rey, and then 10 through 12 are Kodansha, is what I have. I don't know if Kodansha did this, but these Volume 3, 4, and 6 of mine are, I don't even know if you'll be able to tell, but the lettering is bubbled out, which I thought was a nice touch, and I kind of wish all of my volumes had that. I don't even know if I can get it to, kind of, you can see it, but these are puffed out letters, which I really like. All of the spines are the color corresponding with the letters on the front, so they look very pretty all next to each other. There's a lot of pink in this series, as you can probably tell. The art is interesting. I like the anime art a bit better, but I don't hate this. It's just, it looks very, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is, but like, I don't know. My problem is mostly with Ikuto, who is I don't even know if I can find him. I'll find him at some point here. My favorite character. I don't like really the way that he is drawn in the manga, which is just a personal preference of mine. Anyway, the story follows Amu, and she wakes up one day with 3 little eggs in her bed, and she is very frightened and like, where did these come from? What are these for? And they hatch into these tiny little characters that you see on this cover here. So she's got Ron, Miki, and Sue, and they are her guardian characters. And guardian characters are, every child has an egg in their heart. Some people, their egg hatches and releases these guardian characters, and these guardian characters are who they want to be. So all of the characters, all the main characters have guardian characters, and they all represent who the person wants to be on the inside that they aren't releasing to the outside world. So these guardian characters can take over, and they do like a character change, and they turn into well, there she is coming out of the egg, turn you into kind of who you want to be. There's Miki. Oh, she's so cute. So the guardian characters are these little chibi things. That's kind of a cool picture. And you do character changes with them so that you become, there's Ikto. That's actually a good picture of him, but sometimes he isn't drawn the way I want him to be. Yeah, so Sue is Amu's cooking kind of not motherly, like house, I don't know how to say that, person. She wants to be more girly, and so when Sue takes her over, she can cook really well, and she cleans up, and she's like really feminine and frilly dresses and things like that. Amu wants to be more artistic, so Miki is the blue one, and she can draw really well. So when she takes over Amu, she's really artistic and can act and draw and paint and do all that stuff. And Ran is the pink one, and she is very outgoing and sporty, and Amu wants to be that. So when Ran takes her over, she takes her over in gym class the first time, and she can do the spinny bar thing that they do in gym class, that you see in anime all the time. Yeah, so basically the characters are who you want to be. Amu is dressed very punk-like, and she comes off very kind of scary and standoffish. Her parents dress her like this, and it's not who she is. It doesn't represent her, but because of the way she dresses, everybody thinks that she's this super cool, quiet girl who is just way out of everybody else's league, and they can't approach her. And she's seen as kind of a celebrity almost, but that's nothing like her character. She's very girly. She wants to wear frilly dresses. She wants to be cute and whatever, but her parents dress her in this, and now she feels embarrassed and that it's too late to try and switch her outward character, basically. So her guardian characters are born of this desire. And at her school, there are these things called the Guardians, which are kind of like a student council-esque thing, but they don't really do anything. So they're celebrities of the school, basically, and they're based on the, like on cards. So there's a king, queen, jack, ace, and she ends up being the Joker. And each member of the Guardians has a guardian character. And I don't know if I'll be able to find them all in here, but yeah, so we've got King here, Tadase is his name. We've got I just saw her. There's the Queen, Nadeshiko, Tadase again, and they all have their adorable guardian characters. And Ikcho, who's the guy I showed you earlier, this is his little sister, Utau, who's a famous singer, actress person. So she's in here as well with her characters. There's Ikuto again. Um, yeah, it's just really cast of characters kind of um, getting into trouble. Oh, missed Kukai. Where'd he go? Okay, here's the other two. There's Kukai. He is the Jack, and Yaya is the Ace. And you can kind of see Daichi is Kukai's character, Pepe is Yaya's, and Kiseki is Little King for Tadase. Um, the characters do switch out as some of them graduate, some of them move on. Um, they get new people to do the certain chairs in the Guardians of the school. Basically, these kids are fighting what are called X eggs, and these are eggs that children have lost their dreams, I guess, and their eggs become X eggs, and so the Guardians go and change them back with love and enthusiasm. I don't really know, but they do kind of a magical girl change thing, and fight X eggs to turn them back into not X eggs. Hopes and dreams of the children. So it's kind of episodic, I guess, but not really. At first, it's just kind of like it's each individual person. So they find specific people who have X eggs and then fix them. But then it gets into the bigger picture, and you find out why the X eggs are happening. The point of the story is that they are trying to find the embryo, which is this shiny egg that apparently grants your wish if you get it. So there's a big corporation called the Easter Corporation that is trying to get the embryo. Ikuto is trying to get the embryo, and Tadase is trying to get the embryo. So Amu and everybody else just kind of joins in the fight for the embryo. But honestly, the story isn't that solid. It just kind of like it feels as though the authors just kind of went with it as it went along. It doesn't feel like it has a lot of direction. Now, that's not to say that the story doesn't finish, because it does. It does wrap up, and it wraps up nicely. It just feels as though they kind of went, yeah, I guess this is the way we're going to go. Or like they spun a bottle or something and went, that's the direction we're going in now. But this is a character-driven story, and the characters are phenomenal all the way through. It is kind of a reverse harem in the sense that there are many guys who like Amu, but it's not overly bearing, I don't think. And it actually is like these guys. There is confessions in here. There is legitimate feelings that happen. There are other couples as well. Like it's not totally focused on that. And they're also young. They're like 10, 11 years old. So it's just young love, and it's cute. Here's a better picture of Kiseki. Tadase is there, and this is Yoru, which is Ikuto's little guardian character. Again, that's volume 12, and that's all extra stories. A lot of shoujo series do that, where the last volume is completely extras, so that's all just extra side stories about the side characters and how they're doing. Yeah, I think that the art is not very consistent because it's done by both of them. This is not a title where it's like one's doing the story, one's doing the art. They're both doing both. So they have certain characters that each of them draw. So sometimes you can definitely tell, and it feels a little disjointed because you can tell who's drawing what. And sometimes one is better than the other. So it's a bit inconsistent in that way, and I kind of wish that one of them would just do the drawing and one would do the story to make it more consistent, but it is what it is, and it's their project, and they can do whatever they want with it. Overall, this is a very feel-good story. If you're in a slump and you want to be recharged, definitely read this one, because this is so much fun. The characters are fun. The story is just lighthearted and fun. Again, it's follow your dreams, follow your heart, whatever. Young kids. just talking about following their dreams. I don't think you can get any more fluffy and adorable than that. Um, yeah, this is one that you want to read if you're in a good mood and want to be in a better mood, or if you're in kind of a slump with your career, school, whatever it is, and you just want these young kids to give you that push to move forward, because it will definitely do that. So, yeah, there isn't much to say about Shugo Chara. It is what it is. If you look at these covers and saw what I showed you inside them, and that doesn't kind of grab you to read it with adorable characters and the tiny guardian characters, which are hysterically funny, by the way, um, then this is probably not for you. Like I said, it looks very girly, but my brother and I, as grown men, really, really still love this series. So, yeah, this is not one to skip over just because it's pink and fluffy. It is very fun to read. It is lighthearted and just wonderful. And there is romance in it. It doesn't progress super far, goes farther than I think you would expect it to for something like this that isn't completely focused on romance, but it doesn't, flesh out an entire relationship if that's what you're looking for. Um, this is really a story about friendship and following your dreams. So I think honestly that's all I have to say about Shugo Chara. If none of this convinced you to even check it out, then nothing really will, and this series probably isn't for you. But thank you for watching anyway, and if you have any more questions about Shugo Chara, definitely let me know in the comments. Send me a message privately if that's how you want to do things. Yeah, this is a great series, and I definitely recommend checking it out, and I will definitely reread it in the future. Thanks for watching.